Welcome to the weekend edition of National Focus. I'm Kimani. Coming up, the government's Housing Loans Board reviews interest rates. Food and Agriculture Organization gives emergency assistance to Dominica, and we'll bring you a report on how growing herbs could add value to the agriculture sector. Stay with us for details of these and other interesting stories after this. Thanks for staying with us. Great news for public officers who are desirous of becoming homeowners. The government of Dominica, through the Government Housing Loans Board, is making it even more affordable for public officers to own a home. At an exclusive interview with GIS News on Friday, Chairman of the Government Housing Loans Board, Felix Thomas, announced that an injection of $33 million into a loan facility will allow public officers to get even lower rates than the current 7.25%.
Our interest rate as it stands now is at 7.25, but there is still some constraints. There is still some impediment in terms of public officers, not having the leverage. And we realize that an interest rate of at least 5.5% would be more conducive. One of the basics in life is that of housing, that of shelter. And the Labour Party administration from 2006-2007 thereabout had granted to the Government Housing Loans Board $8 million to restructure its interest rate to lower bracket income staff within the public service, and we were able to do that at 4%.
He says the objective of the board and government by extension is to allow every public officer to comfortably service a mortgage. Thomas is confident that the new rate, 5.5%, will do just that. An injection of $33 million into the board will allow for this reduction in rates. Thomas says $10 to $11 million of that will go towards constructing new homes.
We are hoping out of our own capital yield over the years that we would see the Government Housing Loans Board put in an additional $5 million. So we're hoping for the next 5 years to inject as much as $15 million into new construction. The construction activity is vital to the economy because it creates a lot of economic activity while reaching the objective of the Government Housing Loans Board by providing the necessary finances to public officers.
The rates were previously reduced from 9.5% to 8.5%, and further from 8.5% to 7.25%. Over $16.5 million have gone into new construction through the Government Housing Loans Board. Since coming into office, housing has been a primary concern of the Dominica Labour Party administration. The Government Housing Loans Board has played a key role in government's Housing Revolution program.
Statements made by the Labour Party administration in ensuring that health shelter, is an important, part in terms of the overall development of the country. You have heard statements like providing at least 1,500 families, with the means of having shelter. The Government Housing Loans Board is all part of that Housing Revolution program, and we are seeking during the next 5 years, as part of that entire Housing Revolution program, to have as many as maybe 500 public officers. At the moment, we have well over 200 public officers in one category and another 60 or so in another category. So we can say we have well over 260 public officers at present who have loans with the Government Housing Loans Board.
Currently, 260 public officers have loans with the board. Thomas says the new funds will allow the board to service the growing number of applications from public officers. Farmers across the island will soon have access to their farms thanks to the Food and Agriculture Organization, the FAO. The FAO has made available emergency assistance to the agriculture sector in the aftermath of Tropical Storm Erica. $300,000 will go to the agriculture, fisheries and forestry sectors for quick restoration in affected areas. A signing ceremony took place at the Division of Agriculture on Friday. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries, Harold Giss, says the quick response by FAO speaks volumes for the agriculture sector.
The greatest impediment to our recovery in the agricultural sector and also in the ecotourism sector is the lack of access to farmers' holdings and or to the sites, ecotourism sites in Dominica. This project, first and foremost, will address access, and this is in fact a great relief to us, because there are several farmers who have produce locked on the other side of landslides and they cannot get it out, and it is ripe for the harvest. They're ready to go, but they cannot move it out. And there are other farmers who are eager to start planting new plantations, new crops, and they cannot have access to bring inputs, to bring plants to their holdings.
Klaus Eckelmann represents the Food and Agriculture Organization.
The project has, as was said, four main objectives, and that is to basically bring the agricultural sector back to its production, and the key sector in that is to open and access roads and to give farmers the opportunity to go back on their land in order to manage it, and that is the first and most important part of the work. Additional activities will be the stabilization of landslide areas, stabilization of agricultural lands, and the rehabilitation of forest trails and eco trails, which are so important for the economy of Dominica.
Through financing provided by the FAO and in collaboration with the Inter-American Institute for Cooperation in Agriculture, IICA, persons will be engaged to rehabilitate forests and agricultural access roads. The project will also address on-farm infrastructure and fund training workshops to retool farmers. The agriculture sector suffered losses of over $100 million. Close to 2,000 students at the Dominica State College received their tablets on Thursday under government's One Tablet per Child initiative. This brings to a close the systematic distribution of the devices across all secondary schools on the island over the last few weeks.
By the end of this day, the 22nd of October 2015, every student at the secondary school level and every student at the Dominica State College level will have a tablet. We are honoring our promise. We are honoring our provision. And that is what we're standing for in the Dominica Park.
Words of caution about proper use of the tablets continue to be echoed by the Honorable Minister for Information, Science, Telecommunications and Technology, Kelva Daru, as well as from the Honorable Minister for Education and Human Resource Development, Peter St. Jean. Honorable Daru encouraged the students to take care of the devices and to use them effectively.
Utilize these devices for the furtherance of your education here at the Dominica State College. Notably, the government has invested to the tune of $114,918 for wireless broadband and 2 internal fiber links here at the Dominica State College. Young people, you are now registered at the premier tertiary institution on island, and soon you will be looking for employment. Let me advise you to be careful as to what you post on social media. Prospective employers can access your Facebook pages, follow you on Instagram, and get a very good idea as to who you really are, what skills you can bring to your workplace, and how you can improve their work environment.
The Honorable Education Minister told students they owed it to their parents and to the state to do well. He says government has done all to ensure that every student succeeds.
As a government, we have recognized the importance of technology to development of human resource capacity of a nation. We believe that the 21st century workforce needs the technological capabilities and the thinking skills to ensure personal and professional success while facilitating global competitiveness. This initiative will ensure that your college classrooms become the medium for bringing a world of modern, relevant, and useful knowledge to all students.
Over 7,000 tablets funded by the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela were distributed to Dominica's secondary and state college students under government's One Tablet Per Child initiative. You're watching National Focus. More when we return.
Introducing the Government of Dominica Internal Directory mobile app, available for download from the Google Play Store, One Mobile Market, and the Government of Dominica's website. Access to all ministries and sub-departments' phone, email and office addresses and websites. Simply select a ministry and the sub-department. You can dial directly from the app or save the numbers to your phone contacts. It's convenience at your fingertips.
Is my passport ready for pickup? Good. It really works.
Download the Government of Dominica Internal Directory mobile app today.
Welcome back. When we think of herbs, we more than often think of backyard gardening, consuming the brood leaves for the occasional cup of tea or medicine. What if we told you that growing herbs is part of a $1 trillion industry and local farmers could cash in on some of that money? Our GIS team caught up with a producer of herbal teas who says her demand for herbs is more than she can supply, and that's where local farmers have the opportunity to gain a steady stream of income. Nisha Charles brings this report.
The input of local herbs into mainstream agriculture could mean more business for local farmers. Growing herbs is not merely for local consumption, but is also being used in the processing of commodities such as herbal teas for local, regional, and international markets. Caribbean Agro Producers has been producing herbal teas since 2006 and has succeeded on regional markets. Stocking herbal teas in over 180 stores in Jamaica is just the tip of the iceberg for the company. According to CEO of Caribbean Agro Producers, Dr. Gail Defoe, a steady supply of fresh herbs is needed to gain a bigger share of the $1 trillion industry.
Farmers that we want to get into have to be engaged, they have to be aware, and the markets are different, and so we have to be very conscious of the farmers that we get. But I think it would be really interesting, especially in young people, to actually be a part of a growing market. As I said, we talk about $1 million markets, and we talk about $1 billion markets. When we talk about herbs, we're talking about $1 trillion market. That's what herbs are right now in the world, $1 trillion market.
Local farmers are being encouraged to move into increased production of local herbs. Dr. Defoe says that would mean Dominica would have a steady supply of fresh herbs to offer to the world, a world that is hungry for the potent ingredients found in what she calls green gold.
The active ingredient in here is now being produced by a German pharmaceutical. It is being used to treat 5 of the most difficult to treat cancers. The doctor who was behind this came from the Maroons of Jamaica, who had used it for 500 years to treat cancers. And the doctor behind this is Dr. Lawrence Williams of Jamaica. He was recently offered $11 billion Jamaican because he was the one behind the pharmaceutical company who is now producing it as a pharmaceutical, and he turned it down. So that's not enough money. As we're not looking at $1 billion market, we're looking at $1 trillion markets. I'm speaking about one herb. Okay, I can take another herb here, Lori flower, extremely good even for HIV, extensively used by China for 2,000 years. This is marketed to be one of the top herbs to be researched over the next couple of years. We have them all in Dominica. We have them all in Dominica. I'm talking about the potential that there is in the market for herbs. We haven't scratched the surface yet. I'm just looking at 2 herbs. I'm not talking about what I have researched. I'm talking about what is internationally researched, but available to us within our country.
Director of Agriculture Ricky Bruman says farmers should see this type of agriculture as a business.
We have had discussions, myself, we've had discussions with Dr. Defoe, and I know where she's coming from, and it's something that farmers themselves have to break away from a cycle of doing some things traditionally, and we want to engage them to start thinking outside of your normal way of doing business. Herbs provide or present a very good opportunity and provide for the opportunity to make money. And so the discussion that we've had is to hopefully looking at some farmers that will do things for her. They're not only herbs but there's also the idea of ginger, growing ginger for her. And we have to select a group of farmers, work with them, who will understand to the price mechanism, because at the end of the day, she processes.
It's a lengthy process getting the herbs from the field, drying them, processing, bagging, and then putting them on the shelves at supermarkets here and abroad. General Manager Guy Scott said it's much easier to get local farmers to grow the herbs, leaving the company to concentrate on producing the finished product.
It's not just for our industry, but for every single person who produces herbs and produces anything in Dominica production. You need more farmers to participate. Most farmers in Dominica are in their own gardens, producing their own things. They need to start helping us in production. That would boost our production immensely because we spend a great deal of time growing herbs. More time growing herbs than we do actually producing herbs. So if we had other people producing herbs, then we could really concentrate on our core focus, which is production.
Caribbean Agro Producers generates 20 different capsules, 17 teas, 4 tinctures, gourmet ginger syrup, coconut oil, and coconut water. They use 30 different herbs which are all grown locally. It's an opportunity that the Ministry of Agriculture is not prepared to pass up on.
It's about managing your farm to make money, and that's where it is at. We don't send farmers out there to waste their time, and so the selected farmers that will do that would have to be of the understanding that it's another enterprise on farm that will help the farm family, and so it's a win-win situation in the end.
For GIS News, I'm Nisha Charles reporting.
Thanks, Nisha, for that report. Discussions are currently ongoing with various telecommunication companies to deal with the pertinent issue of roaming rates. The Honorable Minister for Telecommunications, Science and Technology, Kelva Daru, told GIS News that follows the 32nd regular meeting of Eastern Caribbean Telecommunications Authority, ECTEL, Council of Ministers in St. Kitts and Nevis on October 16th.
We've not finalized with the service providers. What ECTEL has presented us is the consultant review, and several recommendations have been made. They've in fact looked at the options for price control, whether to regulate both the retail and wholesale prices, whether to only regulate the wholesale prices or the retail prices, and they gave their reasonings for each of these things. But what the consumer has to understand is that when he or she travels to another territory, particularly within the OECS, within this jurisdiction, it is expensive to make a call, to receive a call, and more so expensive over different networks. So we're trying to at least come to an amicable solution where the consumers can benefit and totally have roaming rates eliminated, because it has been done in certain territories. The European Union has done it. Even Antigua, Barbuda, and Montserrat, they have done it. So we anticipate that the countries within the OECS, they too will be looking forward to have it done.
The Honorable Minister notes that Dominica played a key role in finalization of the various matters discussed at the meeting.
We had our drafts people as well as part of the consultation. each of the territories, because when ECTEL came into effect in 2000, the Telecommunications Act, which existed back then, it only catered to certain aspects within the telecommunications sector. But now that we have seen a transformation of the sector, then the need arises for us to have the Telecommunications Act of 2000 repealed and to be replaced by the Electronic Communications Bill. So hopefully, when the consultation is concluded, then we'll have, like I said, consultations at the various country level. It will also be the opportunity for that to be taken to Parliament. So Parliament also has to look at it. The AGs within the various jurisdictions, they have to give their input as well. And then from there, it will be taken to Parliament, where Parliament will decide on the passage of that bill.
In other news, Montel Phillip of the Castleboro Secondary School is the 2015 Florida Caribbean Cruise Association essay winner.
The cruise industry has motivated the progress of Dominica's economy and infrastructural development over the years. Natural sites have been developed and are now more easily accessible to the benefit of both visitors and locals alike. Historical sites have been refurbished and highways built. New initiatives were taken, and a new initiative like cultural entertainment upon visitors' arrival was well received. Visitors hungered for more, and improvements were made to create a more indelible experience for visitors. As a result, musicians got an opportunity to unveil their talents. With such developments, there have been an upsurge in new businesses and an expansion in already existing businesses. Stakeholders report a good economic activity during the seasons applaud the cruise industry, from year breeders to farmers, supermarkets to resorts, bask in the benefits of the cruise industry. This industry has increased the employment rates in Dominica, with more people being drawn to the industry. What more can I say? The cruise industry has most definitely improved Dominica and its economy and has placed it on the world's map. From the United States to at least 2 people in Oman or Kuwait know Dominica thanks to the cruise industry.
Philip was presented with his award as well as a check of $3,000 at a ceremony on Wednesday, October 21st. Addressing the ceremony was the Honorable Minister for Tourism and Urban Renewal, Robert Tong.
We're really here to celebrate Mr. Montel Phillip for doing an excellent job at not just representing your school, but representing the country and also the Caribbean. So Mr. Montel Phillip won the local competition during Tourism Month. He also won the FCCA, which is the Florida Caribbean Cruise Association's Caribbean conference among many countries. And I want all of you to maybe stand up and give Montel a big round of applause for doing an excellent job at representing the school. Thank you. So for representing the school, but also Dominica, because everything that we do that is positive allows to put Dominica on the map in terms of promoting the country. And the more we can promote our country and show how beautiful Dominica is the more that persons are going to want to come to Dominica. So all of you have the power to do positive things.
The Honorable Minister wants other students to follow Philip's example and positively promote Dominica.
As the FCC has stated that Montel has truly accomplished what they call Caribbean excellence. So he has done a fantastic job by winning this competition. And we all need to aspire to be like him in terms of doing positive things for our country and at the same time promoting the Caribbean.
The topic of the essay was, how does the cruise industry improve my country? Let's now join Nisha Charles for a recap of this week's headline stories.
Welcome to this week's edition of Flashback. I'm Nisha Charles. In the headlines this week, a government citizenship by investment program has seen ground broken for its first hotel development. The first steps were taken for the Cabritz Resort Kempinski Dominica last Friday at Douglas Bay. Government has settled on a final option to bring vehicular access to the people of Botica and Delis. A new road is being designed upstream from the gorge in the area. A panel bridge is to be constructed on that new road. Work is expected to be complete in 4 weeks. Government launched its internal directory mobile app on Monday, the newest addition to government's e-government programs. The app was created to enable citizens to understand and have access to important information and initiatives by government. The Ministry of Trade is continuing its activities towards putting a legislative framework in place for consumer protection. The latest is a series of 3 workshops related to consumer protection matters, which got underway this week. The ministry's goal is to ensure that consumers in Dominica benefit from robust protection laws. All secondary school students across the island have received their government-issued tablets. Tablet distribution ended this week with the Dominica State College students on Thursday. The One Tablet Per Child initiative is fully funded by the government of Venezuela. These were some of the headline stories making the news this week. For details of each of these stories and others, visit our website or Facebook page. Back to you, Kimani.
Thanks, Nisha. And that's the English segment of the news. McPherson St. Luce is next with Creole highlights.
Alors tout le monde, bienvenue à ces nouvelles en créole. Non, moi, c'est McPherson St. Louis. Premièrement, gouvernement Dominique si agrément et puis FAO pour un des secteurs agricoles. Agrément ça là, si aujourd'hui en l'occasion agricole en jardin botanique. L'agent ça là qui allait pour un des secteurs agricoles, sinon mauvais culture Erika. Pour mon secrétaire ministre agriculture Harold Gist, si à ce compte gouvernement, pendant officier FAO Klaus Martin, si à ce compte FAO. Pour mon secrétaire Gist expliquer manière l'argent là qui dépensé.
Eh bien, nous si un agrément aujourd'hui là avec FAO, gouvernement dominicain avec FAO, pour nous assistance après Tropical Storm Erika. Assistance là c'est pour déboucher chimie qui bawe avec fallement, avec pour ranger place qui en fallait avec la glue laver chimie là pour ces habitants taper en manière puis ça vivre en les familles. Comme ça aussi projet là ça il a aller parler nous fait training avec farmers avec nous allons aussi faire travail en forêt parce qu'il fait forêt dommager tout bonnement avec nous travail bien vite pour ranger ces traces là c'est bon hike White National Trail bien dommagé avec Kimani et puis place en les trail qui fermé parce que nous les ouvert parce qu'il fait nous actuellement c'est des touristes que si plaque à venir avec ces mon besoin ni accès pour aller dans ces places là pour visiter.
Qui se fait parole qui prend l'argent pour travail comme ça bien nécessaire.
Pour le moment parce qu'il fait Erika passé c'est chemin bouché avec il a bon équipement il a bon l'argent il a bon monde pour aller travailler pour déboucher chemin pour tirer fallement pour ranger chemin comme ça argument ça nous si aujourd'hui à fait ça et bien avant ça commencer à faire toutes ces bagages ça on peut faire un assessment comme ça on est pour déterminer qui valait où ça fait parce que c'est pas toute bagaille où ça fait avec l'argent c'est 300 000 US dollars comme ça nous allons essayer pour faire ça qu'il faut pour faire meilleur plus vite pour faire farmers à l'enjardin planter pour nous continuer pour rouler un pays encore parce que Erika dommagé en l'eau bagaille en pays avec nous essayer pour ranger ça.
La nouvelle gouvernement Dominique mettait mis en place pour brancher petit camp et puis Delis et puis la ouest dans pays. Parole ça là sorti membre parlement honorable Peter Saint-Jean. Ces communautés ça là souffert mauvais dommages, infrastructure, horde culture Erika.
En pour raison ça là, yo gardé pour une autre place. Là yo ça mettait un pont qui fait toute sorte de qualité voiture, motocar, four wheel, l'autobus pour yo trafiquer. Et yo trouvé en l'autre place. Et ça yo ka dit nous, hot semaine ça là, yo commencé travail à excavatoire, commencé travail et yo ka calculer qui pon yo 4 semaines pour compléter projet là. Aussi ça m'a voulu dire samedi soir et dimanche bon matin, ça c'est samedi et dimanche passé. Ministre là voyait un pont, ça nous a créé un Bailey Bridge. So quand nous a parlé, nous avons un Bailey Bridge, bon gorge là en Botica, qui a servi pour faire voiture, jamber, hot Botica, hot l'emplaine pour Botica et trafiquer en délice.
Et bien finalement, symposium qui ministre agriculture chente un succès. Parole ça là sorti au ministère agriculture, honorable Johnson Drago. Plusieurs stakeholders secteur là te joignent pour discuter l'état agriculture en Dominique.
Nous te mené ça qui stakeholders à agriculture ensemble. Ça c'est planter, moun en private sector, moun qui a exporté produits agriculture nous, moun qui a mené un produit à pays pour nous servir agriculture comme planter, comme fumier. Nous menons ensemble pour nous discuter là nous y à présent depuis Erika et puis là nous aller puis industrie quand Erika passé. Et bien nous avons chance là pour nous parler pas pays quand ces programmes là nous y agriculture, à affaire lever bête, à affaire manger, à affaire facture café, à affaire cacao, à affaire cacao et puis café. Et bien nous sommes contents pour faire présentation ça bah planter et puis pays.
Messieurs, mesdames, ça c'est tout pour nouvelle en Creole pour à présent. Non, moi c'est McPherson and Luce. Ni un bon week-end. Au revoir.
Coming up next, your tip of the day. Explain to your children that they should post only information that you and they are comfortable with others seeing. Also remind them that once they post information online, they can't take it back. And that's all for this edition of National Focus. We always welcome your suggestions and comments. Drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm or visit our website news.gov.dm. Like our Facebook page, facebook.com/GIS News Dominica, and follow us on Twitter at GIS Dominica. You can also catch up on past National Focus newscasts on our GIS Dominica YouTube channel. From all of us here on the GIS News production team, I'm Kimani. Thank you so much for watching and do have a great weekend.